Oregon is one of the most diverse and beautiful states within the greater U.S., and this makes it particularly popular for campers. There are numerous incredible campgrounds in Oregon, and we'll be taking a look at some of the very best in this video. Join Viewcation as we find the best camping in Oregon. Crater Lake National Park. Crater Lake National Park is one of the oldest of all the national parks, and it certainly deserves this status. It's named after Crater Lake, which is the deepest lake in the country. It was formed nearly 8,000 years ago as a result of a violent volcanic eruption. Today, the location serves as one of the most beautiful places in the region. Visitors to Crater Lake National Park will be treated to hiking opportunities galore, with some of the area's more popular hikes including the hike to Garfield Peak and the hike up Mount Scott. The latter hike will take visitors to the highest point in the park, which offers staggering views. There are a couple different campgrounds open to visitors to Crater Lake National Park, and these include the Mazama Village Campground and the Lost Creek Campground. Of these two, Mazama Village is the slightly more popular due to its amenities. It features a couple hundred sites with hookups for RVs as well as a general store. Tent campers looking for a bit more peace and seclusion may prefer Lost Creek while staying within Crater Lake. The Lost Creek Campground is a tent-only campground and doesn't have the same amenities as Mazama Village, but it makes up for this by letting campers get closer to nature. Sites at Mazama Village need to be reserved, and visitors should do so well in advance. Contrastingly, spots at Lost Creek Campground are only available to campers on a first-come, first-served basis. And given that it consists only of 16 sites, you should show up as early as possible. The Lost Creek Campground is a few miles from Crater Lake itself. Toketee Lake. Toketee Lake is located within Umpqua National Forest, and it's also the location of the venerable Toketee Lake Campground. There's plenty to do and see here, and visitors could find plenty of great scenery without venturing so much as a few miles from their camping spot. Some of the most impressive things to see while camping there include Umpqua Hot Springs and Toketee Falls. The hot springs is just a few miles from the campground, and visitors can access the springs by taking the North Umpqua Trail. Bathing in the hot springs is incredibly relaxing, and you may want to spend your whole trip in the warm water. Meanwhile, Toketee Falls can be seen by taking a similarly short walk from the Toketee Lake Campground, and its waterfalls are amazing. One of the biggest reasons the Toketee Lake Campground has become so popular with campers from around the country is the immense fishing opportunities it affords. The lake is known nationally for its brown trout fishing, but brown trout are far from the only notable wild creatures in the area. Visitors will also get a chance to see eagles, beavers, ducks, and a variety of other fish. The North Umpqua Trail is an 80-mile-long trail that offers plenty more expansive wilderness for visitors to explore. There are 32 sites at Toketee Lake Campground, and only 15 of those can be reserved. Visitors should also keep in mind the campground has no running water. Cape Lookout State Park. Cape Lookout State Park is located along the Three Capes scenic route. Campers around the country are drawn to it for its incredible scenery, with some of the most gorgeous landmarks that you can get a look at, including the Netarts Spit and Cape Kiwanda. There are a couple of relaxing hiking opportunities available to those visiting Cape Lookout State Park that will give them the opportunity to take in a great deal of the area's beautiful scenery. The most popular is the Cape Lookout Trail, which consists of a 5-mile-long round-trip journey that'll show visitors some of the most incredible views in the region. The park has its own campground, which features over 200 campsites and is open all year. Of these, only 30 feature hookups, while the rest are simple sites for tent camping. There are also a couple cabins that can be rented. Before we tell you more about the best camping in Oregon, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Viewcation if you haven't already. Green Mountain Campground. Another peaceful campground open to tourists is Green Mountain Campground, which resides in the south of the beautiful state. It's especially secluded, with the campground only consisting of a meager 6 sites. While this means visitors might have a hard time finding a place to camp, those who do manage to do so will be treated to an unprecedented amount of seclusion. Given the secluded nature of the campground in general, it should come as no surprise that the Green Mountain Campground doesn't have much to offer in the way of amenities. It's also slightly difficult to access, as it can only be approached via an unpaved road. There's also the fact that the campground is located next to some fairly impressive volcanic landmarks. Some of the notable landmarks include Four Craters Lava Field, as well as the aptly named Crack in the Ground. That's a 2-mile-long volcanic fissure. Brave visitors can scramble their way to the bottom of the fissure and up again, as it's only 60 feet deep. The Green Mountain Campground is open to visitors all year round, and its campsites are available on a first-come, first-served basis. Visitors are advised to rent a 4-wheel drive vehicle before taking the journey. They'll also need to bring their own drinking water. Devil's Lake State Recreation Area. One of the great things about camping in Oregon is visitors can be afforded the opportunity to camp along the coast. If that sounds appealing, you should check out Devil's Lake State Recreation Area, which features the Devil's Lake Campground. It's one of several coastal campgrounds in Oregon, but it's the only one located within the boundaries of a city. While this means the campground can get a little crowded, it also means campers will have easy access to stores and eateries in town. The centerpiece is its namesake Devil's Lake, which spans over 600 acres. You can go out on the water any way you choose, or simply sit back on the shore and check out the plentiful wildlife. Visitors might even get the chance to see a bald eagle. The Devil's Lake Campground is another campground open year-round, and it features plenty of sites. There are 28 sites with hookups for RVs, as well as over 50 tent camping sites. There are even sites for people with disabilities. Silver Falls State Park. Silver Falls State Park is the largest state park in Oregon, and it's also home to Silver Falls State Park Campground. The park itself is staggering, and it's located along the foothills of the beautiful Cascade Mountains. The park comprises over 9,000 acres and features plenty of forest and waterfalls. There are numerous hiking trails available and some horse riding trails as well. Silver Falls State Park takes only around an hour to drive to from Oregon's capital, Salem, which makes the area fairly accessible for the average tourist. Visitors should be sure to check out the Trail of 10 Falls, which is a loop trail spanning roughly 8 miles. The Trail of 10 Falls will allow hikers the chance to check out some of the region's beautiful waterfalls and much more. There are around 100 sites available for guests visiting Silver Falls State Park Campground, with half of those sites being for RVs and the other half for tents. The campground features plenty of amenities, and there's even an off-leash area for visitors with dogs. Willamette National Forest. Finally, let's take a look at Paradise Campground, which stands within the confines of the greater Willamette National Forest. Visitors may feel as if they've ventured out of the country while ambling along this dense, wet forest. Some say journeying through Willamette feels more like being in a rainforest than it does being in Oregon, as it features plenty of waterfalls and hot springs. Running through the forest is the beautiful Mackenzie River. Willamette National Forest is an especially popular location with fishermen, as there are plenty of trout. There's also whitewater rafting, which can be done along the river. Finally, hikers may want to take the Mackenzie River Trail, which is about 25 miles in length. Now it's time to hear from you. Are you planning to go camping in Oregon? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Viewcation if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.